Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing like a tutorial sort of moment. So I've banged on about it quite a bit on this channel that I have hooded eyes. If you don't really know what it means to have like hooded eyes, it's basically like you don't really have like a defined crease, so you have like excess skin above your eye, which is like here, which is called the hood, and it kind of like covers the majority of your eyelid. And for me as well, mine are asymmetrical, so that means that one eye kind of sags more than the other. So this eye, I have considerably less eyelid space than I do on this side. Like this side you can still see quite a bit. It doesn't really like sag down too much on this side, like there's still quite a bit of space here, but on this eye it's very low down and it goes quite far down as well on the outer corner of my eye. So people with hooded eyes struggle a lot with general makeup looks because you can put like a really nice eyeshadow like look on, and when you're looking like this it looks fine. Like when you're kind of like doing it like this it looks alright, and then as soon as you look up you can't see it anymore, and it's quite frustrating. And doing things like cut creases, most people, well, I'm gonna say like normal people within this, but like I don't mean anything offensive towards other people. Like if you have hooded eyes it's still like normal, but it's just like as a generic term like normal people. But normal people will have like no issues really doing like cut creases and things like that because it just goes across the eyelids, and then when they open the eyes they can still see it. But if I was to do a cut crease along this part of my eyelid, like you can't see any of it afterwards because it's all hidden. The main thing that people with hooded eyes like me struggle with is eyeliner, so winged eyeliner or any sort of eyeliner really, because as soon as you put that on, especially on this eye for me, as soon as I open my eyes it's gone. Or you can get the eyeliner to look really good, but because your like eyelid is constantly rubbing against it, it rubs off throughout the day. And if you're like me as well, who has hooded eyelids that are also oily eyelids, it just rubs off even more because your eyelids get oily, that breaks down the makeup, and it looks terrible. And it does that with me with eyeshadows as well, like all along in here. Anyway, today I'm going to be showing you how I have done my liquid eyeliner for a long time now. I've been wearing eyeliner since I was, oh god, about 11 years old. So for coming up to 12 odd years of my life I've been wearing eyeliner. I started off wearing pencil eyeliner and it would really smudge throughout the day, and I don't wear that anymore unless I'm using on my waterline or tight lining. I don't use pencil eyeliner at all anymore because of the fact that hooded eyes, if you don't have a pencil liner that like fully stays on and doesn't move, you're gonna get it rubbing off. It's gonna look worse to wear at the end of the day, so I never wear that anymore. But liquid eyeliner I've been wearing probably since I was about 14, and I still had the same issue, and I found the Collection Fast Stroke eyeliner and that worked really well for me. So for about 6 or 7 years I only used that. But lately I found the Rimmel Glam Eyes mascara eyeliner, and this has actually been pretty good for me personally. Like I haven't really noticed as much transferring or anything like that since I've kind of started using this. So it is all about playing with eyeliners. Typically for me I find that pencil and gel liners don't work very well. Felt tip eyeliners don't really work that great, and plus the ones that I've tried have just dried up so quickly and they're just not that convenient to use. So for me, liquid eyeliners are the only ones that have really actually worked well and kind of stay on the longest. But again, I have oily eyelids as well as hooded eyelids, so not everyone with hooded eyelids is going to have this problem, but that's just the cards I've been dealt, unfortunately. So I'm going to zoom you in, bring you quite close to my eyes. Like I think I'm going to zoom as close as I can possibly zoom on this lens, and we'll just get started with the eyeliner tutorial. Wow, this is so close. Like I apologise if I go out the shot at all. You know by now I don't have a viewfinder, so I've literally got a mirror like to the side of, you can't even see what I'm doing with my hands. I've got a mirror like over there that I'm looking at, and it's like looking at the kind of the back viewfinder of this camera. So I'm gonna do my best to keep myself in shot, but there's no guarantees. And I'm just gonna push my hair out the way. I dyed it today. Like how, like compared to the blue that I had, this is such a difference now. It just faded, like all the pink and the blue just completely faded out. I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, so I'm gonna be using the Rimmel Glam Eyes mascara. It's got like a barcode on it and I can't get it. It's like a security tag from Tesco, and I'm struggling to get it off without it just coming off like really sticky. So I'm not gonna bother, but yeah. Rimmel Glam Eyes mascara, stop saying mascara, eyeliner, and it's got a very like thin brush. Don't know how well you'll be able to see it, and this is like a bristly sort of brush, which this is the first eyeliner I've ever used like that, and I don't know how practical this one is because of the fact that like the stick here is so thick compared to that. I always end up touching my eyelid with that and making a mistake, but I've kind of gotten used to it over the time that I've had it. I'm going to be showing 2 different ways that I found to do liquid eyeliner with hooded eyes. There's 2 sort of different methods. Well, I mean, there's quite a few, it just depends on what one works best, but I think there's 2 kind of main methods. So on this eye, I'm going to show you the one I usually do because it's easier for me to show it on like this kind of eye, and then on this eye I would do the other method that I know of but I don't particularly use. Okay, so what a lot of people do with the eyeliner is they start from like the outside and go in. I always start from the inside and go out. I will literally just like map it out, and I typically go to like the same line of my eyebrow. So where my eyebrow ends is where I tend to go to start my, like, what's the kind of angle that I tend to go. This is going to be terrible. I'm not great at explaining things, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's like going further down from my eyebrow, so I've already made a bit of a mistake, but we'll persevere. So as you can see right now, like if I do this, this line looks perfectly straight. Like it looks really nice and just straight, like there's nothing else I can say about it. But as soon as I relax my eyes, all of a sudden, like it goes up and then it hooks down and around, which is a pain. So I tend to just finish both sides of my eyeliner and then go in to correct that. So I normally just do like another black line underneath just to kind of straighten it out a little bit. So for me, actually, I would then drag to the side. But the shape that you want to be kind of getting when you're doing this isn't like a straight line, because if you go fully straight, it's going to look a little bit odd because then it will hook round. So I'll actually do that really quickly because I can fix it. So that's how a lot of people do their eyeliner, and it works fine for them because the eye shape allows it to. Let me just let this dry and then I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. Right, so from here, it looks fine, it looks alright, it's a nice shape for the eyeliner, but then as soon as I do that, can you see how this line then gets cut off and then this side sags down a lot, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, and this didn't dry properly. Fantastic. So what you kind of need to do to combat that is you actually need to draw the eyeliner, instead of going down, you need to draw it straight in and then down. So you kind of need to like, I don't know how to describe it, but instead of like curving it that way, you need to curve it that way, if that makes any sense. So you see I'm going quite far out, like far in, quite straight from that line, and then I curve it down. So now if I do this, it looks very much like it's curved, and most people, you don't see that. Most people, it either goes completely straight or it kind of curves down the way, but this is curving up and around the way. And you can see the difference between those lines. So this one goes quite far down and this one has to go up around a lot. And that's just because when I open my eyes, like kind of look straight, it will make it look better with the lines. You do need to keep going like around it quite a lot and trying to figure out the best shape for your own eye. So I normally just kind of start with this and then I'll go in later on to kind of neaten things up, and I normally always drag my wing out a bit more anyway, because I feel like with the more extreme your wing is, kind of the nicer it will normally look. Okay, so now when I open my eyes and look straight ahead, it looks a bit better. Like, it doesn't look like it's sagging anymore because of the fact that this like my hoods kind of like goes round into there a little bit, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to quickly fill this in. Okay, so that's it filled in. And then if I look kind of like up straight and like look straight at the camera, it's not fully dry, so there is a bit there. I'll fix that later. If I look fully at the camera, it looks a lot better in my opinion anyway. Like, I don't know, like it doesn't really cut off that weird because it follows how my hood is going. For some people this would be far too much eyeliner, and I completely understand that. Like, I like a big bold wing, so you don't need to make it this thick. As long as it kind of follows like the curvature of your hood, it typically looks a bit, I don't know, like it looks a little bit like more cohesive and not as weird. But this is why I like doing a big wing, because you can really get away with it then, and people with hooded eyes typically have quite small eyes. So doing a big winged liner, really dragging that out, can make your eyes look a lot bigger as well. So this for me isn't done. Like I said, kind of underneath here, it's going to be hard to show you, but like underneath here, where my kind of eyelid sags a little bit, it just looks a little bit like wobbly and a bit, I don't know, it's not straight. So I will always go in and just do an extra line underneath there. And when I'm doing that, I will hook it out the way so that it comes out more straight. And this is where I add a little bit more length to my wing as well. So that's typically how I do like a standard wing on my eyes anyway. This hasn't dried, I know it hasn't, I'll fix it. But that's kind of how I do it. So you notice here now that it looks a lot more straight, even though it actually isn't. It has like a lot of curvature to it. But because of how my eyes are, they need to look like that. And where I've dragged this out a little bit longer, it doesn't make my eyes look like they're sagging because I'm dragging it up the way. So although it's not like a conventional wing that a lot of people would like to have, for hooded eyes, like this is okay. If you made it a little bit thinner, I reckon it would look okay still. For me personally, on my eyes, if I made it thinner, it would just look a bit weird because of the fact that I have so much extra room in here. But I also need to take into consideration that on my other eye, it's not going to look like this because I have less eyelid space. So for me, because my eyes are asymmetrical, I do need to make this side a bit thicker to make it look as similar to this eye as possible. Because if I did this eye really thin, I'd have to do this eye even thinner. And if I look forwards, I mean, you can see that you can't even see any of my eyelid up here at all. Whereas in this eye, you can. So if I did this side thin, I'd have to make this side pretty much non-existent. So it really is kind of about making them symmetrical and figuring out what your eyes need compared to other people's eyes. So for hooded eyes, well, for eyeliner anyway, but for hooded eyes especially, it really is practice makes perfect because there's so many different things you can do with this. I can't get that bit of black off, so whatever. This eye I'm showing you the other technique where this will help you understand what your eye shape is like with eyeliner and kind of what you need to do. And this is actually how I learned how to do winged liner on myself with hooded eyes. Because of the fact, like, a lot of people want their wings to look like perfect, and it's difficult to make them look perfect. But to try and like get the best shape for your eye, this is a really good way to learn it. So I'm gonna apologise if I'm not fully in shot for this, or if you can't see much because of my hand. But for this, you want to just look straight. You don't want to be looking like I did over here, like with my head tilted back, my eyes kind of narrowed. You want to look straight, and you want to go from the corner of your eye to the towards the tip of your eyebrow and just draw in a straight line. Don't worry about the crease of your eyelid. Don't worry about anything like that. You want to go over that. Like there will be blank spots later on. I'll show you what I mean. You go from here, looking as you normally would look, and you draw up in a straight line. Again, this won't be perfect. Now if I, like this, the line looks like it's solid, it looks like it's a complete line. But when I do that, you can see I've actually got a hole in my line. So there it looks fine, and here it does not. And it's all just about figuring that out. So that is where my hood is, and that would all be, like anything that I do there will be hidden by my hood. Because that's where I've drawn the line and it's not there anymore. So basically anything in here, kind of like in this sort of area, is just like, what's the point? You're wasting product there. So really, you could just go around that, but that'd look a bit weird. So what you should do from there is you should fill in that line. So it looks the exact same when you're looking straight and forwards, but when you do that, it's actually like a solid line. The same kind of thing goes with doing it like across the way, so actually connecting it to like your eye. For this one, again, I looked down and I curved it round because now I know the shape that I need to go for. But for this side, what you want to do is go from the edge of your eyeliner and then just go straight to kind of like the top of your lash line. So don't go like any higher than that. So it's good to start off when you do your wing to kind of like stop. Oh no. We'll ignore that. So it's to kind of like stop in line with that, so that you just go from a straight line over. And again, you want to do this looking forwards. This can be quite tricky, so it is handy to have like a little handheld mirror as opposed to like a big mirror. Again, don't even raise your eyebrow. Like my instincts are to raise my brow to get as much, I don't know, like as much exposed of my eyelid as possible, but you don't need to do that. This is just to figure out your eyelid shape. So from this corner, just go straight. Okay, so these wings will not be matching, by the way. They're not going to match, it's just simple as that. I'm not going for the same kind of style, it's just two different methods that you could use. So if I look forwards, this looks fine, the line looks complete. But when I do that, you actually see that I'm missing all of this. So like, that line connects with there when my eye is open. But when my eyes are like shut or when I'm looking down, look at the difference in that line. So what you can do is you can just go straight down and connect it that way and then just do the rest of your wing. It will look a bit weird with your eyes shut, but actually a lot of people with hooded eyes do this. They kind of just do like a diamond shape and then just do the rest of the line. I'm getting eyeliner all over my face. How am I doing this? Or what you can do is you can kind of like from here just drag that really like narrowly into the inner corner. So I'm going to show you like how to do it the diamond shape way, and then I'll just change that later on. So you just want to take that liner and kind of connect it with the inside of this line here. Like that. So that's a lot of eyeliner compared to this side. I don't have nearly as much, but this again is slightly different of a style, and this will be more of a bold wing. This would be like a bit more of a subtle wing, even though that doesn't look subtle, and this is definitely bold. So what you want to do is you just want to fill that in. Right, so I'm hoping that's dry, but as you can see here, this looks like a lot of eyeliner, but see, as soon as I look forward and straight, like it doesn't look like that much. Well, it is still a big thick wing. Which is one of the reasons why I bring it out so much further, so that it doesn't look as thick. But compared to this, that actually isn't, that's not a lot there at all, is it? Like, it's not. And I mean, you could stop here if you wanted to and not do like the eyeliner on the inner corner, so you could do that absolutely. Personally, I like to have it in my inner corner. It closes off my eyes a little bit more, but that is one of the reasons, again, why I bring my eyeliner so far out to kind of root open my eyes again. So this looks alright. Obviously, depending on your own eye shape, yours might not be this thick, yours might be even thicker, yours might just be the same as mine. It really does depend. So if you're not someone that likes to wear heavy eyeliner, there are certainly other ways that you can do this. So you could do this kind of like going out a bit flatter and then just bring this in kind of like halfway down as opposed to like the top of your eye. There are ways that you can like amend this and make this your own. Like I said, like I started off doing this and now I do this. This is like doing this method helped me get my easy shape, and I can do my eyeliner within like a minute on each eye. That's probably a bit ambitious. 2 minutes I'll give myself. But like I can do my eyeliner very quickly now because I learned the shape that I need from this method. So from here, like I said, you could either just like leave it that really sharp, harsh line and do a line on your lash line. So let me show you this. And I mean, some people will just curve it together to make it look a bit more cohesive, and that's absolutely fine. Like this looks okay. It definitely is a look though, like this is quite a bold way of doing it. But if you're already someone that doesn't like a lot of eyeliner on their eyes and they don't like it to look too bold, this is a way to make it look a little bit more light and to not add any more heaviness to the eye look. And then you see when I look straight, like that looks like a kind of, almost like a 50s style wing. Like see if you had this and paired it with a red lip, 50s style wing, right? Am I wrong? So if you did that, it looks 100% fine when you look straight. And then when you do this, it just looks like a little bit of a funky wing, and it's really not that hard to do. It's like a diamond shape and that's about it. But this looks fine, and this is kind of how I used to do my eyeliner, but I used to connect it in a slightly different way. So I'll show you how I connected it because I'm not opposed to a big fat wing. I'm not. So instead of scooping down again, I'm going round. I'm kind of going like straight with this actually. So I'm just going to curve that line round instead, and then I go down straight. Ugh, I looked up and it wasn't dry. This is also just a struggle with hooded eyes, man. Like, so just ignore that like black smudge, just please ignore it. Also, I'm aware that like neither of these lines are very neat. It's hard to do this whilst trying to focus yourself, whilst trying to stay in frame, and then whilst talking. So I'm not complaining, it's just a fact. Okay, so again, when I'm looking at you, it looks pretty much the exact same, but then when I look down, it doesn't have that stop start, and it is a big bold wing. Like this is a lot, and this is what I'm saying, not a lot of people will like this kind of look, but it is a really good way to help you understand the shape that you need for your eye. And again, not everyone's is going to be this big. Some people might have like a really small diamond shape. Some people might have a really big one. It just depends. This is just my eye shape. But I do encourage you to give this a go. If you struggle getting the right shape for your eyelids, give this a go because it might actually really help. And eventually when I started doing this, I eventually started getting rid of, like, you can kind of see here, it goes into a bit of more of a point, and that's like the edge of where the diamond shape was. And eventually I got rid of that and kind of like skipped that down, and then I started angling my shape down, so I kind of like eventually just bring in this line. And that's kind of how I got to here, was I just got rid of all the harsh lines, ignore the black smudge, but I got rid of all the harsh like diamond lines, and I kind of like I changed it to fit my eye shape in a style and a shape that I liked it. And I encourage you to do that as well, just to try it. And even if you're not going anywhere, just sit down and do your eyeliner, and you'll eventually like find a shape that suits you. For me, this is just a bit too, like, I don't know, it's like chubby. I don't like it. So what I would do is I would just change the shape of it. So if you find this a bit too chubby and you want to elongate it, this is kind of how you'd do it. So stay along the same line, but just bring it out. So go underneath and create a new baseline, and then connect them. And that brings it out a bit more, makes it look a little less chubby, but obviously the shape of it is still there. And I feel like the longer your eyeliner looks, the less thick it looks, because if you have it like really short, it just looks a bit like, I don't know, just eh. But if you have it like out long, it looks a bit nicer, although this will be a lot for some people. This is a dangerous game as well, because once you start adding, you don't want to stop adding. So for me, if I was to do this method now, although this is a lot of eyeliner and it is very thick still, I would bring it out as big as possible. And typically if I do a look like this where it's so thick and wide, I'll actually do like the inner corner of my eye, just like bring that out a little bit. But I'm not going to do that in this video because it's not about that. Okay, and then when I look forward on both eyes, they both look fine if I just look straight forwards. Like this one is a lot thicker, yeah, but it is very like straight and angular. This is what I would call like a typical cat eye. Like it is very thick, it has a lot of angle, and it really like directs your face and where your eye is going, and it does open up your eye. This side is a bit more like flexible and like bendy and like curved, but this is like a bit lighter and a bit thinner, and typically like what a lot more people would rather go for. You can kind of like level this out just by doing this a bit straighter instead, but personally this is the kind of shape that I tend to go for on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, that's kind of like how I would do my eyeliner. It's two very like similar-ish steps, and they kind of like work together, but they're two different methods to really like figure out your eyeliner game. Like I said, when I first kind of figured out the shape that I needed, I did do this method. So look straight at your mirror or at whatever, and then just draw the lines over top of where your eyelids are, and then you can really see where exactly your eyeliner should be going in order to like show up, if you know what I mean. Because like I showed you earlier, like from the top of this diamond down here, like I had nothing, like there was nothing there at all for so much space. So if you do that to like map out your eyeliner, that's kind of the best way. Or if you don't wear this much eyeliner and you know you haven't been able to get along with the diamond methods, so do a line from here to here, raise your eyebrows, do it in a curved line, and then when they lower, it tends to look a bit straighter, in my opinion. So guys, those are my two easy main methods of figuring out eyeliner on hooded eyes. I wouldn't really say this is like a how to do your eyeliner, it's more of a how to figure out how to do your eyeliner, really, because it is a lot of trial and error, trust me. Like it takes a long time to get into the habits of doing this. It's not a very easy process to figure out eyeliner in general. Like eyeliner is definitely like practice makes perfect, but when you have hooded eyes especially, you need to practice and you need to try new things, and you need to just figure out how your eye shape is and what your eye shape demands before you can actually figure out what sort of look you need to go for. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so this is kind of my 2 steps. Like I said, it's not for everyone, but it definitely should be ways to help you figure it out. It's a learning process. It's a long learning process, but if you don't try things, you don't know if you're going to get it sorted out. Do you know what I mean? So guys, that's it from me today. let me know what you thought of this video and like how you felt about the whole tutorial kind of aspect of it, and let me know what tutorials you'd like to see from me in the future, certain eye looks or like methods or things like that. Just let me know what you'd like to see. Comment shout out today actually goes to, I'm assuming it's a spam comment because they linked to like Lovely Girls Online something or whatever, but they put a timestamp on, so it passed the censor for like likely to be spam comments. So it got published like immediately just because there's a timestamp on there. So I admire, like, I don't know, I admire the loophole, young man. I don't know who it is. I'm not going to give the name because it's a spam comment, but like, shout out to you. Well done for getting past that like spam censor. Pretty impressed at that. If you like this video, please leave me a little like down below. It really does mean a lot. It helps me see if you actually like these sorts of videos. Again, comment all the things I asked a second ago. I make videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and then the first Thursday of every month I do a throwback Thursday where I try an old makeup challenge that was like trending years ago, and I'm just doing it now because I haven't got around to it before. So if you want to see all of that, go ahead and subscribe. It means a lot to me if you do. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay, I'm on my phone just to end this video. I'm gonna have to turn this TV down. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm on my phone just to finish this video off. So bad quality, sorry, but I just forgot. My friend Becca, I asked her a couple of days ago if she could make me like, or draw me up like a little cartoon character of me. Like, she's a really good artist. I'm gonna put her Instagram, like her art Instagram, on the screen. She did me a really nice drawing, like really cool drawing, because I wanted to be like my channel character. I'll insert a picture of it here. Like, look how good that is, and I'm over the moon. Like, I literally asked her to make like a little chibi me with my little awesome teddy, like hugging that, and she exceeded my expectations. Like, it is amazing. So Becca, I know you know how much I love it already, but like, thank you for being such a babe and doing that, because it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And yeah, just wanted to put that in the video. So this will be my little character. She's gonna be on not the ending screen for this video, but from next video and onwards. And she's gonna be like popping up on my channel every now and then, I think. I absolutely love her. I'm so in love with her. And also I found a name for Pink Pusheen. It was actually my sister who recommended it, so hi sis. So it was her idea to call it Tubby Custard, and I was like, that's such a stupid name, but then I thought actually he's a little fat cat and he's pink, and so was Tubby Custard, and like I used to love Teletubbies. I watched it until I was like 10, so Tubby Custard was like the perfect name. So Pink Pusheen is now Tubby Custard, my little Mr. Tubby Custard. And again, Becca, thank you for this. Like, I can never tell you how much I appreciate it and how much I love it. Like, it is amazing. So that's the end of the video. I can't believe I forgot that, but I don't write things down. I should really start writing down a series of how of what I want to say and how my video should go, but I don't do that. I just wing it. So literally wing eyeliner this video. Get it? I'm gonna go now. Bye.